All right, get ready for this. We're about to meet an engineer, but this one has no brain, zero neurons, and absolutely no formal training. And yet, it can solve some of the most wicked design problems out there. We're not talking about a person, and it's not some supercomputer either. Nope, it's something way, way stranger.
Okay, let that sink in for a second. A brainless yellow slime redesigning Tokyo's rail system better than human engineers. I mean, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's totally real. And it's a discovery that just completely turns our ideas about what intelligence even is on their head.
So that's the big question we're tackling today. How on earth is this mathematically possible? How can a creature without a single neuron pull off something that takes teams of brilliant human engineers, decades of work, and super powerful computers to figure out?
So to really grasp just how incredible this is, we've got to talk about the challenge itself. We're not talking about some simple subway map here. This is the Tokyo railway system, literally one of the most complex, intricate, and mind-boggling transportation networks on the entire planet.
Look, designing a network like this is a true masterpiece. It's this delicate balancing act between speed, cost, and making sure the whole thing doesn't fall apart if one line goes down. Engineers spend their entire careers on this stuff, using these super advanced algorithms to get everything just right. So the idea that a simple, single-celled organism could even come close, it sounds, well, impossible.
All right, so who is this mysterious, brainless engineer? Let's meet the star of our show. And trust me, it's a creature that pretty much breaks all the rules.
This is Physarum polycephalum. The name literally means many-headed slime. And while it's called a slime mold, it's not actually a mold or a fungus. It's a protist, which basically means it's in its own weird, unique category. If animals, plants, and fungi are the main files, protists are kind of like life's miscellaneous folder, a whole bunch of amazing, mostly single-celled weirdos. And here's the wild part. The whole thing is just one single giant cell. But inside that one cell, millions of nuclei. It has absolutely no brain, no central nervous system, nothing like that. What it does is spread out in this beautiful, almost electric, vein-like network to feel out its world and hunt for food, usually bacteria on old logs. Okay, so how does something like that think? How does it solve problems? Well, this is where our whole concept of intelligence is about to get a major, major reboot. The secret sauce is something called distributed intelligence. There's no CEO, no central command telling it what to do. Instead, you have this amazing problem-solving ability that just emerges from millions of tiny parts, all following simple rules. It's like a flock of birds turning together in the sky, or an ant colony building a complex nest. No single bird or ant is the boss, right? They're all just following local cues, but together they create this incredibly complex, intelligent behavior. That's exactly what's happening here. So the slime mold doesn't have a memory, it is its memory. It's not stored in a brain, it's written directly into its physical body. When one of its little tubes finds a good path to food, that tube gets reinforced, it gets thicker, stronger, and more nutrients flow through it. It's a positive feedback loop. Meanwhile, any paths that lead to nowhere, they just wither away and disappear. It's literally building its knowledge into its own shape.
And this all boils down to this beautifully simple three-step process. First, it explores. It just spreads out everywhere looking for food. Second, it reinforces. Any tube that finds food gets stronger. And third, it retracts. The useless dead-end paths get pruned away. That's it. Explore, reinforce, retract. A super elegant natural algorithm.
Okay, which brings us to the main event. This is where it gets really good. Researchers in Japan saw this simple algorithm in action and asked a crazy question. Could we put this thing to the ultimate test? Could it design a modern transit system?
The experiment itself was brilliant in its simplicity. They basically took a petri dish and they laid out oat flakes, which, by the way, is the slime mold's absolute favorite food, in the exact pattern of the major cities around Tokyo. Then they plopped a piece of the slime mold down on the central Tokyo oat flake and just watched.
And over the next day or so, something incredible started to happen. The slime mold spread out from the center, this chaotic web reaching in all directions until it found every single oat flake. And then it started cleaning up its act. It ran its little three-step algorithm. The most efficient connections between the cities got stronger, and all the extra useless paths just vanished. It literally carved a perfect, optimized network right out of the chaos.
The final result was just stunning. The network the slime mold created wasn't just
like the Tokyo Railway system, in some key ways, it was actually better. It was just as efficient at getting from point A to point B, but its total length, its cost, was lower. And get this, its fault tolerance was amazing. If the researchers snipped one of the connections, the slime mold would just regrow a new path around the problem. It's self-healing.
So, okay, this is way more than just a cool science experiment, right? This discovery blew the doors wide open on a whole new way of thinking. It's about looking at these living systems and figuring out how we can use their built-in logic to solve our own complex problems.
And people are already running with it. We're talking about everything from using slime mold to create actual living computer circuits to designing self-healing materials for robots. We can apply these same principles to design better road networks, more stable power grids, or even figure out the most efficient global supply chains. Nature has basically handed us a new blueprint for building smart, resilient systems.
Now, obviously, we're not going to start plugging slime molds into our laptops just yet. It's not a silver bullet. The huge advantages are how tough and energy efficient it is, but it's slow. I mean, it takes hours or even days to get an answer. And because it's a living thing, it can be a little unpredictable and tricky to connect to our digital world. But here's the key. We don't need the slime itself. We can take the principles, that simple, elegant algorithm, and turn them into incredibly powerful new computer programs.
And that really brings us to the biggest takeaway here. This little slime mold kind of forces us to ask a really deep question. We always think of intelligence as something that happens in a brain, with neurons firing. But if a single cell can solve a problem this complex, what does that even mean for our definition of intelligence? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where else are we overlooking it? It suggests that incredible, smart solutions could be all around us, hiding in the most unexpected places, just waiting for us to notice.